Greetings to you. Welcome specially to the Engineer Construction Lecture Hall. Today we are going to continue from where we stopped. Okay, we are still discussing how to interpret how to interpret architectural drawing. How to interpret architectural drawing. That's the topic for today. All right. So, what under this we are going to look at, because when we talk about interpretation of architectural drawing, we have discussed different parts of architectural components. Okay, all the parts that makes up the architectural building plan. There's what we call building plan. Now, that building plan is a combination of other drawings. All right. For you to have a comprehensive building plan, it must consist of the architectural drawings, the structural drawings, the electrical drawings, the plumbing or mechanical drawings, as the case may be. All right. So all of this is what constitutes the building plan. But our emphasis is on the architectural drawing. So in the previous class, I have enumerated some of the parts, okay, that makes up the architectural drawing. So today's class, we are going to talk about, we are going to look at dimensioning proper, okay. We are going to look at dimensioning, all right. Now, understand that dimensions basically gives us provision to be able to know the linear measurements of the various partitions within that building. Now, you know the buildings, a building is made up of several partitions, okay. You have the main lounge, which is your sitting room. You have your bedrooms, you have your dining space, you have your dining hall, you have your kitchen, and so on and so forth. Okay, all of this, is what makes up the floor plan. All right, then like in a story building, you have other formations, up there. So it's important that you understand the linear measurement so that you can be able to get these formations, as it is on the drawing, because the important aspect of this whole interpretation is to be able to translate what you have in the drawing to the ground. All right, because the building plan helps us to transfer the plan, okay, the floor plan to the ground. Then it also helps us to create the various openings, okay. The provisions made in that drawing will be translated as well, like in terms of the openings within that building will also, it is the drawing, the plan that will enable us to set out those openings in our building. That is the doors openings, the window openings, and some other openings, the arcs and all of that. These are what will be found in the plan. So the dimensioning is very, very important. Now, dimensioning in this case, now we will look at the internal dimensions, okay, the internal dimensions, okay, and the external dimensions. The internal dimensions and the external dimensions. Now, if you're given a building plan, okay, for example, if it's a bungalow, you know that you're only, like I told you, it's only the floor plan that you're dealing with. But if it's a story building, it means that you're going to have two floor plans. That is the ground floor plan and the first floor plan. Now, those partitions that are, in that building, the geometrical shape of that building is determined by their dimension. It is the dimensions provided that will enable you have the formation. All right, without the dimension, you cannot actually form that building on ground. all right, because those partitions, they have dimensions. Now, it is those dimensions that determines their shape on ground when you're transferring. So that is why you must understand dimensioning very well, because if you don't understand dimensioning, you see that while transferring it, you see you end up not having that shape that you have in the drawing on ground, because maybe you must have mix out, in translating, interpreting the dimension for maybe a particular section of that building. So that shape of the building will not be achieved. So it's important we understand dimension. And I told you in our previous class that when you're doing your measurement, you can do in-to-in measurement and out-to-out measurement. Now, the dimension that we are talking about here, when we talk about in-to-in measurement, we are looking at when we have our building. For example, let's say we have a building, okay? We have a building of this nature, okay? Let's say we have something of this nature, for example, all right? Let's say we have something of this nature, okay? Let's say we have something of this nature, all right? Let's say we have something of this nature, all right? So understand that these are the walls, okay? These are the walls that makes up the building, okay? This is a three partitions, okay, 3-room arrangement that we have here, okay? Now, when we are talking about dimension, it's expected that we already know that these are the walls. Probably we have an opening, the window opening here. And I told you when we have this, it represents a window opening. Let's say we have a window opening here. Let's say this part, okay? Let's say we have a door here, okay?